Welcome to my channel again. I'd like to do a little bit different topic today. Basically, I'd love to pause and just give a general description of who I am, what I'm doing here, and where I'm coming from as far as my point of view. Most men watching this channel will probably not understand what I mean, where I'm coming from, and there are many reasons for that. Number one reason is the age difference. Number two reason, which is probably the most important one, is the state of mind. I have changed a lot since I was 40, 30, 20, and my current point of view, my current state of mind, my current emotional state is way different than it has been in the past. And there's another thing that will create some kind of confusion or lack of understanding where I'm coming from. It is the emotional understanding of life values. So let me dive deeper into all those subjects and just explain who I am, why I think this way, and my stand as a man in today's world. I am 53 years old. I'm a father of two teenagers, divorced couple of years. I make less than $100,000, but I live a comfortable lifestyle. For those who wonder, well, how do you live like that? Well, how is it even possible? Well, I have learned to live very responsible financially. So my decisions about purchasing certain things are based on whether I really need those things. And I skip those things that I want because I have changed and I realized that most things that we want, we don't really need, and it's just a waste of time. But it took me a while to get here. And for those who wonder, well, you probably can't make ends meet, or, you are doing this just to validate your existence or something of the nature. No, it's not like that. I'm doing well. I have learned how to navigate through this financial world. I have a decent credit score, which proves my understanding on the financial responsibility, something around 830. In the last 12 months, I went on 3 vacations, including visiting Italy and Germany for almost 3 weeks, without taking any extra credit for that trip. So why am I saying all those things about myself? Trying to paint a picture that it is possible not to make so much money with this financially driven world, to have a good, decent, healthy lifestyle, experience life, travel the world, and yet stay sane, financially responsible, and not to be detached from a healthy course. Things that I say, my point of view, my comments in this video, these are the things that I live by. I believe that a real man is supposed to say and do at the same time. Speaking empty words is not really a good characteristic of a man. So, as a father, I teach my kids, talking to them, and also proving with my lifestyle that what I say is I can do with my life. Why I say that I have changed my approach to life, my understanding of life values. Well, I had lived most of my life kind of unhappy, a little bit disappointing, as everyone. When you are young, you have high expectations, mostly related to a financial point of view, and you try to achieve certain kind of professional acknowledgement by achieving certain position in the world, with your job, whether it's a technical job, physical, intellectual, creative, whatever that may be, and things change. But what I notice is that we spend way too much time focusing on work and not enough time on doing things that are actually necessary and healthy for our mind and our body. And the job approach, the financial approach to life takes a toll with time on us, and we become detached from what really is important, what is really valuable for our life. So a few years back, I started changing my perspective. Probably it had happened at the time of the divorce, and since then I have put a lot of work emotionally and physically on myself. I needed to be physically strong, fit, healthy, and I also needed to understand myself and what I need to be able to live in this crazy world without financial obsession, financial attachment that I need to do things that most people are obsessing about. I need to be detached from a political um chaos that's been going on. I need to be detached from a religious approach that mm, doesn't personally benefit me. So, what I did is I looked into myself, I started criticizing myself and working on my flaws to achieve certain type of peace and comfort and understanding that there is a simple solution in every life situation. I discovered that I don't need to be upset about anything that is happening, because if anything is happening out there and it touches my life, I have no control over it. The only control is how I react to it. And it took a while, but I have found a way to process everything in a healthy way where it's not taking an emotional or physical toll on me. And with time, I became very comfortable with this approach. Very, um, I became satisfied and happier with the new way of my life. I found that detaching from most things that people obsess about on daily basis, which usually have some kind of financial roots, financial connection, that gave me a lot of freedom. I still live a normal lifestyle. Like I said, I do take probably more vacations. I work less, and because as a photographer, I work about 70 days a week, 70 days a year, which is probably one third of what other professions are. I used to work 50, 60 hour a week job. But since I switched my profession, I decided to stay this way, sacrifice on my paycheck, working less, but focusing more on myself and my hobbies. Um, achieving a basic status, financial status in this world, which is owning a house, gave me enough confirmation that this is a time right now to focus more on more important things in life, which is the state of my mind and the quality of the person I am for my children as the father. Am I able to show and teach them what I say? So this lifestyle, which focuses a lot on personal time, which is healthy hobbies that shape my mind and body, has helped me to become a new person, happier person who can withstand anything thrown at me uh, with ease, with understanding. I can find a reasonable solution to everything that is going on out there. What I say is that becoming, being a man is not easy these days because you have to constantly withstand a lot of side winds, headwinds, backwinds, and they come from all directions. And the people that you are connected with, your friends, your family, they may not understand where you're coming from because they have not taken that step that I had. So with time, I understand that I have become a strange person to a lot of people because they are all connected in this sort of rat race approach. And someone who doesn't want to participate the way they do, doesn't want to obsess on daily basis the way they do, and value the things they value, the material approach, is gonna be interpreted as a strange, weird, difficult, and definitely dangerous for economy because I don't need 6 pairs of sneakers, top high-end sneakers every year or every 2 years, and or other gadgets that people claim are absolutely necessary. I believe the most important thing for a man is honesty. Be honest, be true to yourself, and it takes time to find that real honesty because there's all kinds of information conflicting thrown from this side, that side. You have to be able to detach, not to get involved with definitely not rabbit holes that are popping up here and there, and just go back to the core, meaning what it means to be a man. When you achieve that comfort zone, you become strong enough to withstand all the brainwashing things that a lot of people have to face every single day. Sometimes, you don't want to be part of it, but the business relationships or the friends kind of force it on you. I decided not to bend to that because I value myself. I respect myself. I put a lot of work to myself, and I teach my kids that this is important. Respect yourself, work on yourself. That never ends. Once you achieve certain level of that healthy comfort, you still have to put a lot of work, but less later. But the benefits are huge. You don't risk no longer being pushed off the truck because you are so solid on your foundation that everyday hiccups, and there are thousands of them, will not be able to push you off. I'll give you an example of what I teach. For example, my son. There is a lot of things that happening. Let's say when teenagers enter high school, there's a lot of comparing when kids want to show off one way or another what they have, what their parents buy them, because yeah, they cave in and just believe that my child should have the best. I don't buy into it. I think a child should also work on his and her mind and her and his body. So, for example, I would not buy fancy, super expensive sneakers for my children because there's no need for it. What I teach my son, if he's wearing normal sneakers and he needs to go through an area where there's a bunch of teenagers all wearing those fancy sneakers and laughing off at everybody else wearing normal sneakers, I teach him to develop a strong mind, and regardless what they say, what they joke about, keep your direction. If you have to go through where they stand, go through, and don't be distracted. Because what I teach him is that he owns his sneakers versus other boys that are owned by their sneakers. So that's a totally different state of mind. That's what I believe in. Another example, what I believe in, if you have that fancy watch on your wrist and someone else has a normal $50, $100 watch, those both watches costing totally different price, 20, let's say 30,000 versus 100. They both show the same time. And the only difference is that if someone wearing that fancy watch is in a certain crowd and recognized for that watch, because that is the status symbol for that crowd, I teach that this is probably a wrong crowd that you are in. Unless there is a certain business relationship that absolutely dictates you to be a part of it one way or another, be there with your $100 watch and own it, or no watch. Because your value is in your mind and the actions that you take, not the gadgets you put on yourself. That's another way that I teach my kids, and the way I believe. Um, so this is my personal approach that I have started implementing a few years back, and I keep working on it. But I find this approach that works in every aspect of my life, whether it's my family relationships, my role as a father, my role as a man in this world, when I have to face strange situations or any life situation, my role as a man in a relationship with another person, with a woman, I have to know who I am. I have to be strong about it, and I have to have solutions in every situation. My role as a man is to bring honest solution no matter what happens, not bring chaos, panic, destruction, or the worst thing, misinformation, falling into a rabbit holes of certain traps. I don't need all that nonsense, all that noise, junk, crap. None of it is important for me. When I wake up until I go to sleep, none of it is important. What's important is healthy exercise, healthy food, hobbies, good conversations, and a few friends. Very few, because I don't need a lot of friends who are just distraction, who are not real. people that I can count on, and vice versa. So, this is my life approach. That's what I teach my children. It's not easy because they have to develop their own minds and they have to withstand the crowd pressure and the nonsense pressure from this society who is obsessed financially and other ways. Not an easy approach, but I find it healthy, find it working because it's an organic way to be able to withstand anything without a chemical help of pills, therapy, rabbit holes, or unhealthy obsessions that just eat you from inside out. So, thank you for turning in. Stay active, stay healthy, and respect yourself for the healthy mind you have. If you don't have it, work on it to get to that point. Life will make a lot of sense, and there will be less chaos that is gonna affect you, or none of it will affect you. Just the positive forces. Thank you.